You're listening to The Hardpoint with Onexpunchxdad and Code Rome's.
Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back, you bunch of degenerates, you ingrates,
Bunch of hooligans.
you bunch of ne'er-do-wells, youths, vile youths. Welcome back to the Hardpoint. It's episode number 37. This podcast is officially older than me.
Whoa.
It's impressive.
All right. Yeah.
It's exciting. That's exciting. We're racking them up. My name is Josh. I go by Onexpunchxdad online.
My name is Cody. I go by Big C Murd.
Big C Murd, Lil Murda.
Little Murd. Murder on the beat.
Known to Murd.
Hopefully not.
Lil Murd X. And we're back. Very excited to pod this week. We are doing a in-depth spoiler cast. Full of spoilers for the hit Amazon Prime television program called The Boys. So if you haven't finished all of The Boys, if you're not aware, the final episode of season 4, the second to last season of the show, just aired the other night. We've seen every episode. We're going to talk about it. So if you haven't seen all that, maybe put a pin.
Yeah.
Put a pin in this epi.
Well, listen until we'll give another hard line.
That's true.
We're going to actually talk about it. Stay with us for a little bit, and then we'll send you home here in a little bit.
We'll send you packing. We'll let you know when we're about to start a spoiling. But before we do that, it's catch up time. How you doing, my man?
Yep. I'm doing good. I had a bachelor party this weekend.
You did.
That was quite fun for my brother-in-law. Brother-in-law to be. I should say.
To be.
And part of what we did.
Shout out Caleb.
Is actually going to be. Yes. Shout out Caleb. Is actually going to be one of my 2 quick things in What Are You Crushing? So not going to give you all the deets right now, but we had a good time. Good time. Yeah. It was nice to kind of cut loose, Yeah. Let your hair down a little bit. It was really the first time since I became a dad where, I had a little bit of fun.
Got to be one of the boys.
Got to be one of the boys. Stayed out a little bit. Had more than one drink. Had a good old time.
That's good.
Really good.
That's good. I don't want to put your business on blast out there, but your sister did come to town. She passed through our hometown, and something we talked about previously on the podcast that's very, very exciting for you, disappointing for me because I didn't get any of it. But she brought you a whole box of Donut Stop cherry donuts. Beaming bright red. It looks like ketchup almost, man. They are the most vibrant, delicious. If you missed that episode, I don't even remember which one it was. If you're ever passing through Amarillo, Texas, and you don't stop at Donut Stop and get a cherry glazed donut, you're missing
get a dozen.
You're missing your life. It's passing you by.
Dude, they do something to me that nothing else will. I generally try to eat pretty healthy. They are the one thing of food, though, that I will throw all health concerns out the window. Yeah. I don't care. She got to my house. I sat that box down. I swear to God, within 4 minutes, I had 4 donuts in me.
My man.
I mean, just inhaling them. She brought 2 dozen over, and we ate them all.
And mind you,
by the time she left,
it's 5 hours from Amarillo to Dallas. So these donuts. Okay, we talked about this last time, but did you throw a paper towel over the top, put it in the microwave, 10 seconds?
Not day 1.
No.
By day 2, they're starting to look a little different. They're starting to harden a bit.
Yeah.
So if you go like 9-10 seconds, all you need in the microwave. It's astonishing how fast like bread heats up in the microwave.
Yeah.
You don't need that much time.
But my
9 or 10 seconds.
But my Hot Pocket needs like 30 minutes for some reason.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. 9 or 10 seconds.
Yeah.
And it's soft. It's warm. It's perfect. So day one, no, straight out the box.
Yeah,
But,
I think there's no problem within the 24 hours of the purchase of a donut or donuts. Straight out of the box, off the countertop is perfectly fine.
they were good. As advertised, 10 out of 10. Just sad that they were gone.
Yeah. I'm sad that I didn't get any of them, but I'm glad you got a taste of home.
She already knows. Like, I texted her when she was on the way. She had already passed Amarillo, but I was like, you bringing that heat through?
You made her pop a Yui to get you some donuts?
No, she already had it.
Oh, she already did. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
I
she
thought
knew.
she'd already passed through, and she's like, ugh.
No. No, we and her are on the same wavelength with it. She knows. She wouldn't dare come over having passed through Amarillo and not brought cherry donuts. That would never happen.
That's awesome.
She knows he would get stopped at the door. And
no entry.
be asked. Yeah.
None for you.
Yeah. It was good though. Bachelor party, sister in town, cherry donuts. Overtime watching for the boys. I barely got it finished.
Yeah.
Barely got it finished.
You came in clutch.
I did. What about you? How was your weekend?
I had a good weekend. I chilled for the most part. I did do some yard work. Yard work has been a big part of my life lately. I can't remember if I talked about it on the show last week or the week
It was
before.
a little more than anticipated, I think.
Yeah. It's not even a lot of land, but it's a lot of grass. So it's a lot of cutting. It's a lot of getting out there, pushing the mower. I have a push mower. I don't have a riding mower yet, so it's a lot of like going over ruts and like and weed eating. Weed eating is very satisfying, very cathartic. The act of weed eating, really, really enjoy that. But yeah, a lot of yard work. Still months later, trying to get this house to as I say that, I got a big pile of junk behind me in the camera here. Just trying to find a place.
Would you every day you get no taxes taken out, $50K in your bank account every single day, but you have to weed eat your entire property every day?
Like I can't mow, it's all weed eating.
You have to weed eat every inch every day.
I would never get to spend a dime of that money because you
24 hours.
If you had to weed,
reset.
Okay. If I took the first couple of days and just I was like sun up to sundown, I'm gonna weed eat the entire property and got it all down, and then after that it was literally just like touching the yard up. I think I could probably make it happen. That would be my life.
Yeah,
but I could make it happen.
You would be working no less than you do now.
I would probably
pulling 14-hour days.
I would probably just do the math and be like, listen, $50K a day. If I do this for X amount of days, that's $1 million, $500,000. Right. I'm going to do it then. And then as soon as I stop getting paid. That's fine. I got $500,000 now. I'm good to go.
If you ever stop, though, you have to give all that money back.
Well, you can't keep adding things to it.
Trying to find the line.
Okay.
Where the line is.
Okay. I don't know. That's a lot of work. Okay. At least in the wintertime.
Yeah.
Do I have to weed eat when the grass is dead and not growing?
Yes.
We got to talk about the rules here a little bit. Am I weed eating the entire yard no matter what, no matter whether it needs it, or I'm weed eating?
So I guess in this hypothetical, every day the grass resets to say, I don't know, 8 inches tall.
Now the grass is magic. Hold on. What kind of black
it's a hypothetical
Black Mirror
anyway.
Black Mirror bullshit is this? Fine.
I guess you better what?
I'd probably still do it. Is what I was gonna say.
You have to. That's an insane. What is 50 times 365?
I don't do math out loud.
Just hang on.
You didn't know either.
Nobody knows that.
He's calcing right now.
That's $18 million, a little over $18 million a year. I'd be just fine.
Yeah, but you'd be working. If you have to give the money back, which is apparently part of the rules now.
If you ever stop,
work
the power is, you wield the power.
I guess my family, as they're going on a Disney vacation, wait, hold on. Could I pay someone to weed eat it for me, or it has to be my?
No.
Okay, all right.
You.
This hypothetical sucks.
Yeah. Because what they
If once I got enough money, I would just hire a dude and be like, "All right, man, every day."
No. No. You have to do it every day until the day you die.
No.
Or you have to give it all back.
No, probably wouldn't do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess you better learn to love. Not you better. That sounds hopefully you learn to love the act of caring for a property.
I do. No, it's good. I'm glad I don't have to weed eat every day or weed whack. Weed whack.
Think about how many like strings you would go through having to change that every
A lot,
hour.
man. And it's pretty delicate, right? Because if you like get up on like a concrete corner of the foundation or whatever and get too close, you get that and it just like you're like, well, I just lost 3 inches right there.
50% of my string.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but it's very satisfying. It's satisfying to like stand there with your weed eater and look at your property and it's all edged up.
Yeah. Do you okay? So when you say weed eating, are you just lumping edging in there?
Yeah, kind of. I don't have an actual like edger like it's like a weed eater with a saw blade on it, right?
Right. Yeah.
But
Or like a wheel that you
No.
can roll down the concrete or whatever.
Edged, I just mean like, you drink
Shaped up.
wine out of a wine
up.
glass, man. This ain't that kind of podcast. He's over here. Aerate that. There you go. Yeah.
I have a story for why I have this.
Aerate that
and
shit.
what are you crushing?
Okay. I'm excited to hear that. So that's a pretty good segue. What are you crushing, Cody?
All right. One is it's music. It's music. We talk about music quite often on here.
It's music. It's music.
It's music. It's music. It's a band that actually I think have both listened to a significant amount. There was an album in 2020 that you sent me. We both loved it, and then they got rid of their singer, great singer, replaced him with another one. They came out with another album that had a couple fire tracks, and they got rid of that singer, and they just got a new female singer.
Yep.
Who just released an EP this year.
Yeah.
That is. Have you listened to it?
No, I haven't.
The band is called Novelists or Novelist FR. What's the FR?
France. They're from France.
Oh.
Yeah. It's kind of like Kubla Khan TX.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Novelist FR or France.
Yeah.
They released, and I had this pulled up because it's a weird word and I didn't remember. It's called Okapi.
Okapi. It's an
Okapi.
It's an animal. I think they're extinct. I think.
Gotcha.
Anyway.
Never would have guessed that. Anyway, it's a 4-song EP released May of this year. And I don't even know how I stumbled upon it. Their C'est La Vie album. Is that how you say that? C'est La Vie?
Yeah, C'est La Vie.
C'est La Vie.
It's French.
Fire, dude. That's a banger front to back. And that was with Mateo. And then they got another singer named, what's that guy's name? The Orange album.
That guy. I can't remember his name. It was
that guy.
Probably something
Still
French.
Good though.
Yeah.
Because that's the one, the first song had the like he plugs the guitar in. It's like great song. And then he left apparently. I don't know why. I was kind of doing research. And they replaced him with this female singer who is the singer that on C'est La Vie album, the song C'est La Vie.
Yeah.
Do you remember that female?
I do. Yeah. So that was her.
This is her.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow.
These 4 songs are fantastic, dude. I don't know why I clicked play on them today. I don't know how I ended up on their page. I don't even know why I'm listening to them. But I clicked play for whatever reason.
Wow.
And they're great, man. There's one called Prisoner. It's specifically my favorite one on there, but all 4 of them are awesome. And I was going to send it to you today. I didn't, but I'm going to. You should definitely listen.
I need to, man. Novelists is a great band, and it's not novelist. It's novelists, plural. Emphasis on the. They're a great band, and for no reason whatsoever, they just completely like fell out of rotation for me. I had a couple songs from that Orange album that I really beat to death, and I think that's why I kind of like. Sometimes if you have a song on like your daily playlist too long, it's kind of like I don't want to ruin this for myself.
Right.
So I'm going
Smoke Signals and Terrorist.
Yes.
Were the 2 good ones on that one.
Yeah, Terrorist is really good.
Yeah.
But yeah, I have been known to bench a band in order to preserve my enjoyment of them. Speaking of doing that, this isn't really my what are you crushing, but that Caleb King, I think is his name, the guitar player guy who does all Clayton King, sorry. He showed up on my Instagram feed today with one of his playthroughs, and it was that song that we really enjoy. That showed up today. Clayton King, shout out Clayton King, really good.
We need to get him on here.
Oh man, he's amazing.
Hit him up.
Really great. Just kind of, I think he is in a band. I haven't really given his band a lot of time, but his solo instrumentals he writes are truly, truly great. Anyway,
he has a new playthrough. I sent it to you in the last 60 days.
I think we watched it. I think we did watch it.
Did we?
I remember that. But I remember the first one that he put out was just, man, that is just an eternal repeater right there. Anyway.
It is. Okapi, it's good. They're giving... I hate to make the Spirit Box connection just because they both have girl singers, but it does kind of remind me of that.
Sure.
As well as Soam make them suffer a little bit, you know, like the female vocalist parts.
Okay.
It's really good, man. I've been listening to it all day, and I even listened to C'est La Vie front to back a couple times. Still fire. Anyway, go listen to that. I'll send it to you later. My second one, I'll make it quick.
Bet.
I'm gonna officially sound like an old, but part of the bachelor party, it was girls and guys combined for part of it.
Yeah.
And we had a pickleball tournament.
Hey, have you ever played
pickleball?
I have not. Had you ever before this weekend?
I had played one other time.
Okay.
And it's a lot of fun. I know it's like generally, I think people think that old people do it or what. I don't know. It's really fun. It's exercise, you know, you get some physical activity without having to just it's like walk on a treadmill or something boring, like
tennis, racquetball type rules, kind of.
It's tennis, but there's two people on each side. It's much closer quarters. None of it's really overhand until it gets going. Like tennis, have you ever played tennis?
I've tried.
It's hard, and I feel like you just end up chasing the ball 90% of the time. Like it's just unless you're good and can really volley.
Yeah,
tennis sucks.
Yeah.
This is a lot more accessible. It's a lot more fun. And anyways, we had a pickleball tournament, and you're looking at your winner.
Oh, yeah? The King Pickle?
I won the whole thing. It was partners. I didn't do it alone. But I did win the entire tournament and got a pretty nice bottle of wine out of the whole thing.
Hey, what a gift. So that's your loot right there. That's your spoils of war.
That's my loot.
Spoils.
Just popped it tonight. So
spoils
it's really
of the
good.
Great Pickle War.
Yeah, man. It's really fun. I don't knock it till you try it.
I'm not knocking it. I just have never tried it. I think once it's in front of my face, they say it's like a frenzy, and I know people who are just like pickleball and nonstop.
Yeah.
I don't know
if you like physical activity and you're competitive. It's great.
But also you could eat some nachos in between rounds, maybe.
Yes, I was drinking beer the entire time that we were playing, so it's not that intensive. Where, you can eat food and drink beer and whatever. It's awesome.
That's good to know.
Maybe we'll go next time. What have you been crushing, my man?
What have I been crushing? So I'm still kind of in between bands. At the end of the show, we'll kind of forecast something really, really cool that we're doing this weekend that I'm really excited about.
Hell yeah.
So musically, I am kind of preparing for that. More to follow on that. I will say I did, between tapings of podcasts, had a night to myself that I gave myself off. I didn't work on any animation. I didn't have a video game I particularly wanted to play, but I had the TV in the TV room to myself. And so I put on a movie that I had been wanting to see for a long, long time. And just, I'm not a big renter. I hate that. I used to love going to Blockbuster because it was just anytime a movie came out that I wanted to see, it was it was a no-brainer. I was just going to go rent it. It's now not even that complicated. I don't even have to get my fat ass off the couch, but I never rent movies, and I often wait until they come to streaming. And sometimes that's a month or two after they're out of theaters. Sometimes
it's like $20.
Sometimes
to rent a movie.
Yeah, a movie that came out in 2019. But anyway, this movie finally just landed in my lap. And it's a movie that's been out for a little while, but it is a war movie called 1917.
Oh.
And I was a little worried. So, do you remember did you see Dunkirk? Did you see
Yes.
Okay. So I feel like this came out near or maybe nearly around the time, like within the same 4 or 5 year span of Dunkirk, right?
Definitely.
Dunkirk is a Chris Nolan film, and it is boring and it's a bummer to me. And I know the film snobs and the cinephiles in the room are probably rolling their eyes at me. That's fine. I'm wrong. I didn't like it. And so I kind of went into this thinking like the shots I'd seen, I was really hyped on.
Yep.
But I was like, man, I hope this isn't a fucking snooze fest. It was not, dude. 1917 is probably one of the best war movies that I've seen in a long time. It is truly like gut-wrenching, beautifully shot for everything they're showing you, which is like the destruction and devastation of World War I.
Yeah.
It is really beautiful how they shot this movie. It's all there. I think there's like 3 cuts in the whole movie. The rest of the movie is all handycam footage. It never cuts. It is always on pretty much the main character.
That was the whole like sell of the show.
Yeah.
Was
All
I
one-
only remember one cut. If there were more, I don't. I just remember one when he finds that guy in the tower.
Yeah, and gets like knocked out.
Yes, basically.
Yeah, so
But it gives you a sense of like scale, because everything's to scale. Like you see his journey step for step.
Exactly. The scene where they are in the barn and they see in the distance, like far away, like you can't even hear the engines roaring, of a dogfight, like these biplanes that are shooting at each other, and the German plane gets shot, and you see from far away, it's literally like a fly in the distance, and it banks towards them slowly, and then it kind of goes down under this cliff, and then it kind of jumps back up, and it's very clear that it's going to hit this barn that they're in. So they have this very, slim window to run out towards the camera and dodge this plane that's about to crash. Anyway, 1917 is on Netflix, I believe, right now, and hoo boy, it is. It's one of my favorites that I've seen in a long time.
It's great. We saw it in theater, and I actually watched it again recently when it was on Netflix.
That'd be a great theater watch. Yeah, it's
so good.
A good war movie will bring you back for a second viewing, and I think I could see myself watching that one back to back for sure.
Definitely, great choice.
Yeah,
great choice.
Yeah, crushed it, you might say.
You've been crushed.
You've been crushed. Anus. All right. Hey, that's probably a good point for if you are listening and you have not finished The Boys and you don't want to ruin it for yourself. You have been warned. We are going to talk pretty much favorite moments for the show. We're going to end of season, end of series spoilers are all of it on the table. So go
balls hanging out.
So go finish the show and put a pin in this and come back to us when you've seen the show, because there are some pretty big twists and deaths and reveals and stuff, and we don't want to ruin that for you. So anyway, you've been warned, baby. Okay. So I finished it not maybe a week or two before you. Well, I say finished it. I watched the last episode of season 4 just the other day, and it sounds like you just finished it a day or two ago.
Last night.
Start to finish, numeric rating and your bumper sticker impression of the show.
Okay. I don't know if I can rank. Are you saying like the seasons? Rank the seasons?
I'd say overall.
Overall.
Yeah. We're gonna start up here. We're gonna work our way down the onion layers.
Overall, like in the 9s. Like I would say a 9.5. I'm sitting here not saying 10, but I couldn't even really. You know what? I'm not gonna give it a 10 because I wasn't super duper stoked on the finale. But everything else was an absolute fucking joy to watch, man. I would give like a 9.7 out of 10. Like, I loved it, man. Loved it.
Yeah.
What about you?
I'm with you, man. I would say probably like a flat 9, honestly. And and I'm exactly gonna echo what you just said, in that the thing that keeps it from being a 10 is gonna be not even the finale necessarily, holy cow, but it is the the entirety of season 4 to me. I think the show, for the most part, has great energy, great pace, really good at bouncing around each camp of characters, right, and giving you an in-depth sense of what they're going through. I feel like they kind of didn't land that in season 4. But the last episode of season 4, I think, is actually the best episode of season 4, and it actually makes me incredibly hyped for season 5.
Okay. See, I feel like the last episode was like, I feel like every other season finale, there's been some crescendo and some giant dogfight or something that happens. Like, I feel like this season just, like, they left you on a cliffhanger, but it just kind of ended. Like, there was no apex to season 4 to me. I kept waiting for all this stuff to ramp up and to lead to some giant something.
Yeah.
And it just, it to me, it felt like it never came. Like, it just, they all went their separate ways, and then you see them each kind of get taken by whatever, Homelander's guys or whatever. Like, something happens to each of our boys, but that's where it ends.
Right.
And it never apexed to anything to me.
So, fun fact about that whole, like, the different, like, everyone's kind of going their separate ways. Like, Huey and Annie are traveling somewhere, hopefully on a vacation or something. Frenchie and Kimiko are trying to leave and go to France or wherever it was he was wanting to take her. They finally are essentially like full-blown romantic with each other at this point.
Vancouver.
And they all start getting abducted.
Right.
And so the people that are doing that are characters from that show Gen V. I found that out. Which neither Cody or I have watched yet. But yeah, the specifically the people that take Kimiko and Frenchie are their characters from Gen V, presumably bad guys.
Sure.
But anyway, I thought that was a nice touch, even if I haven't seen Gen V. I do want to watch that. Yes, I agree. When you go back and consider everything that happened in the final episode of season 3, and then go back to the season 4 finale, it is a notable, like, not turning down of the stakes, but definitely turning down the action for sure. Season 3, I guess we can do this backwards, I guess.
Sure.
Season 3, from start to finish, is really good, but it ends really fucking good.
Yeah.
It ends with a fight, like a 2 or 3 way fight, right? You have all these characters finally clashing, finally duking it out.
Homelander, Soldier Boy, Butcher,
Starlight finds out she can fly all of a sudden.
There are there's people switching sides. That's where Butcher kind of turns. He was with Soldier Boy that entire time.
Yeah.
So he flips last second because of Ryan. Like, there was a lot going on in that season finale. It was great.
There's a moment where I think, like, they realize Soldier Boy is, like, unhinged and they're trying to put him down, and Butcher still has his Temp V powers, and he and Homelander kind of look at each other, and they both kind of go for Soldier Boy, and they have this, like, super quick temporary truce, and start fighting Soldier Boy. Of course, that doesn't last because they fucking hate each other. But season 3, I thought was peak for me. It was. So,
yeah, I agree. I thought I enjoyed 4. But I thought it was the weakest to me.
Yeah.
I think you were correct. 3 was awesome. 3 was great. I really liked 2 a lot with Stormfront. That whole storyline to me was awesome.
It was.
Admittedly, I don't remember a lot about the first season. I watched 2, 3, and 4 within a matter of weeks. So 1, I have a hard time placing.
Sure.
4 was good. I just thought it was setting up for something. And it just... It was kind of a letdown at the very end to me.
There was a lot of things that happened in that season that I love the show as a whole. Again, solid 9. There was a lot of things that happened in season 4 that I dead ass don't give a shit about. That whole episode where they're on the farm and the crazy sheep are trying to kill them.
That was fucking... I've never seen anything like that before.
Yeah, it was bonkers. But also, like, that whole episode and everything that it was kind of setting up was like, I don't care care about that. Like that virus to me never really felt like that paid off. This virus that kills superheroes, and Victoria Newman is dating this, or was dating, or had a child with this scientist who created it, and then Billy like cuts his leg off and was trying to get him to make more, and he ends up poisoning Kamiko, but Kamiko just cuts her leg off and grows it back. So it's like zero stakes.
And then he just runs out the door, never to be seen again.
He just leaves. Like the virus arc to me, and I think Billy still has like the one dart, right? That has okay, so that is still in play, but the whole virus thing never pays off in season 4. Also, the big reveal that Kessler, the dude from Walking Dead, is
Negan.
Negan from Walking Dead is a figment of Butcher's imagination and a byproduct of his temp V tumor, whatever. That was also kind of like, okay, all right. So it's like mini.
I didn't see that coming, but that was supposed to be like the big jaw dropper at the end of an episode, and credits kind of rolled, and I'm like, okay.
It was
not that.
It was not the icy dead people that they thought it was. I think it was very much like, it's like things started happening, and I was like, oh, that guy might be fake. Oh, he's fake.
Right.
You know,
and it was kind of like, so his wife would appear too. It was kind of like the devil on each shoulder, like the angel and the devil,
right?
Because they'd be trying to tell him to do different things. What did you think about like Sage as a character and her whole like super smarts?
So I like the character of Sage. There's a really funny moment where they're at that like kind of like whatever deep state political meeting. They got all these like the head shed, right, and they're all having their kind of like really sinister political meeting that they're doing. It's the same episode as the Web Weaver shit.
Dude, that fucking character.
Yeah. Oh my God.
When he like farts and webs kind of goes out of his
it's like literally like diarrhea webs out of his back hole. It's fucking gross. No, there's a scene. So Sage is this really, really like super intelligent character who doesn't really have any like exterior presenting superpowers, but she's extremely intelligent to the point that her brain actually regenerates. So she can literally be shot in the head or lobotomized, and over time her brain will regenerate and repair itself, which is kind of cool. She gets shot in the head in that episode and gets kind of incapacitated for a minute. When she comes back, but she's like kind of stupefied by the like part of her brain is now missing, and she is it's got to grow back, so it takes time. And so there's this scene where she's set stuff up. She's been shot, so she's kind of stupid. And Newman stands up and gives this big speech, kind of backing Homelander, and like basically like saying that she's going to support him and all this stuff. Right. And she looks back at Sage and nods, and Sage is like, gives this like stupid nod back. And then Newman nods again, and then Sage nods at her again. And that was probably...
That went on like one more time than I thought it was going to. It caught me off guard, but it was hilarious.
That was so funny, man. That was one of my favorite moments in season 4 for sure.
Finally, Newman's face is just like, okay, I don't know what the fuck's wrong with you.
Yeah, that was a really funny moment. And
one of the... Oh, go ahead, sorry.
I was going to say the Web Weaver stuff was probably another thing where it was like they were really pushing probably what you should ever be allowed to put on TV, but it resolved in such a way that was actually really satisfying. And I love the Tech Knight, right? Like the kind of Bruce Wayne, Tony Stark guy ultimately getting like made a fool of. I thought that was good.
I know that whole scene underground where Huey was dressed as Web Weaver, and they had him do. I mean, that whole scene was so tense,
and it made me hate Ashley so much more because she's so gross in that scene.
Oh, dude! And that point where he told Huey, what did he say? He's like, the same holes get boring all the time. Sometimes you have to make your own hole, and fuck it.
Yeah. Yeah.
And he had that thing revealed, and he was going to cut a hole into Huey, and Huey's bound up, and he's got this like big thing prying his mouth open, and they bust in right in time to save him or whatever.
Yeah.
You want to talk about pure terror, man? Like just. I had this. I don't know if you have this. I have this thing a lot where when I'm watching something, I'm thinking about that actor doing that scene.
Yeah.
And not necessarily like what I'm seeing, but like creating that scene.
Yeah.
And
Terrifying.
all I could think of was that actor being in that position with that thing on and just acting fucking terrifying.
I
don't know, man.
I chipped a tooth recently. I had to go to the dentist and get one of those put in it. Let me just say, I'd never had. Normally, they just have me open up my mouth and
Right.
I go to work. But they were like, nah. They put that fucking like thing that, holds your mouth open
Right,
that Huey had in there. That shit hurts, man. My lips were all
Yeah.
cracked after that. Like, literally.
So dry.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Like, then just not like the restrictedness of it, of being like, you can't move your mouth. It's
Right.
pretty disgusting. Anyway. Yeah.
So another one part that I thought was I didn't really see it coming, and it's when the shapeshifter, when you kind of find out that it's Annie, and you don't know that it's Annie, like that. It was towards the end of an episode, and at first she's not acting strange enough for you to think anything of it, but she kind of progressively starts doing weirder and weirder things outside of her character. Then it reveals, it shows at the end of an episode, the real Annie is chained up. Yeah, I thought that whole thing was pretty crazy. Now, I don't understand, once all the dust settled and they killed the shapeshifter, why was Annie mad at Huey?
I think I kind of get like why she would be upset, but Huey didn't do anything wrong, and he actually he figured it out. Like, he's the one who's like, Annie's the shifter. Like, oh
Right.
shit, because she says something about it being like an oven or it's like a furnace or, or something.
Yeah.
I can't remember what she says, but
Which that was kind of a crazy moment too.
Yeah.
Huey realizing like, holy shit.
that's a weird tell, right? It's not
Right.
all the weird other stuff that have happened up to that point. But yeah, no. Let Huey.
I thought that anger was so misplaced.
It was.
And I feel like Huey didn't stand up for himself. Like, I would be like, dude, fuck you. I thought it was you. Like, I didn't.
Bros devoted,
In what
man.
world?
You didn't want to mess it up with Starlight. He's like, whatever, be bad at me.
I thought that was a weird, like, I thought it was weird that it was written that way. And I thought it was weird that she was mad at him. I'm not saying she shouldn't have been upset.
But not upset. Huey has done
Right.
very little wrong in this show and often gets punished the most.
Right. So I wrote it down. I was taking notes as I was watching for talking points. And one of them was, why the fuck is Starlight mad
Yeah.
at Huey? I don't
Yeah.
or Annie. I call her Starlight.
I do want to talk about one of my favorite like character arcs it really resolves in season 4, but he really like through the show has kind of gone from like kind of annoying to an asshole to tragic to now pretty redeemable, and I'm honestly surprised this person is still alive at the end of season 4. But A-Train has a really good redemption moment.
A-Train, dude.
In this series.
I was gonna say that I'm right there with you.
Yeah.
I feel like he was very hateable in the beginning when he was the typical superhero that just didn't give a shit about anything.
Yeah.
And the whole thing with his brother and Blue Hawk, I think really was the thing that kind of made him start thinking differently about everything. And seeing him and Huey be able to ultimately kind of shake hands and, maybe not forgive, but I guess technically, forgive, you know, and be okay. I totally agree. I think that was a really cool arc.
I think they really like put a nice like pin to rose on it with the scene where it's in the Web Weaver episode, but MM has like a panic attack to the point where he passes out. I think it's meant to be like, an anxiety attack or something, but he's incapacitated. And A-Train, they need him out of there, so A-Train picks him up and runs him to the hospital, and he drops him off on this gurney by this ambulance, this hospital. And there's this kid just sitting outside, and they have this straight, like, in contrast to everything that has happened on the show to this point, it's literally a kid seeing a superhero do a good deed and smiles at him. And it completely, you can tell A-Train is just like changed by it to the point where he's got no more desire to be the Deep or the Homelander. He wants to be a good hero, and I thought that was really cool.
I feel like that's a character they easily could have kind of written off and killed off at any point. So I feel like that was something unexpected for him to have this big like redemption arc.
Yeah.
What do you think about Frenchie? We haven't talked about him at all.
I think I've become progressively less and less interested in Frenchie as the show has gone on. Yeah. This whole thing where he is dating this guy, and the guy, he figures out that he killed someone that the guy he's dating cared about. His whole family.
Oh,
he
his
killed
parents and
killed his whole family. Okay. So right off the bat, Frenchie's kind of a piece of shit, or at least he has a past. Right. And so he turns himself into jail. Goes to jail. Kimiko's trying to see him and visit him, and he won't see her in jail. And then like one episode later, MM's like, "Oh, I pulled a favor and got him a pardon. He's out."
Yeah. And then he's just
back.
Like all that time he wouldn't see Kimiko, but we're supposed to believe that just walked in there and he's like, "Let's go." And he's like, "Okay."
Yeah, no prison break, no, you don't even get to see him in prison. Like he doesn't make you don't know what happens in there. It's stuff like that in season 4 that was kind of like, why is that in there?
Yeah. 100%.
Yeah. Why is that
I feel like the whole thing with Frenchie, like I didn't even understand the guy that he was dating. He didn't look that much different in 8. How did he kill his whole... They did the backstory.
Yeah.
And that guy recounted when he was a kid.
He saw a scar
seeing his parents. Yeah. Yes. But wouldn't that mean him and Frenchie are like 20 years apart? Like they weren't 20 years apart in the show. Not even close.
Like I said, my like there are characters in this show that I gravitate toward, and there are characters in this show that it's like, I can go make a burrito in the kitchen while this is going. And he's a burrito in the kitchen character, unfortunately.
Yeah.
He's had good moments. He was really fun in season 1 and 2, I thought. But like I said, progressively just got kind of like...
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do think, though, that's part of the reason I enjoyed this show so much, kind of in contrast to what we were just saying. There is a lot going on at all times with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And I feel like for 4 seasons, for 90% of the time, for me to be interested in everything that's going on, it's pretty tough to do. I feel like a lot of shows after that many seasons and that many storylines, they'll lose you a lot more than 90% of the time. So
every show I've loved has had a clunker season. Absolutely.
Yeah.
And to be fair, if this is as bad as it gets for the boys, this is like, we're not trying to frame this as like, oh, it's like Game of Thrones levels of not ending well. Like it's still really good. There's so many great, the scene in season 4, I feel like we're going to be pretty season 4 heavy just because it's fresh in our mind. Sorry. Sure. The scene in season 4 where Homelander goes to this lab where he was raised and is confronting all of these scientists who subjected him to tests and like put him in a furnace and basically saw how much pain he could take and wanted to push him to his limit to try to get his powers to manifest at the most like heightened levels of fight or flight or whatever. And it's one of the only moments where you're kind of like, Homelander is evil, but it's nice to see him being evil to people who kind of deserve it.
Right.
Because they were like, the people that were there were pretty terrible, and they get the most fucked up comeuppance of probably anyone in the show. Honestly, the one dude, I don't even want to get into it because I would get this episode like pulled down. But he basically makes this dude humiliate himself in front of his colleagues, and then lasers him in the dick, which is fucking terrifying.
Spit on it.
Yeah.
Spit on it.
Oh my god. Oh god, that is so like that was almost hard to watch. But yeah, that's all in all that episode for Homelander is a great scene. I mean, we said it last week, man, but Anthony Starr is absolutely magnetic as Homelander.
He steals every scene.
Yeah.
Talk about all these revolving storylines.
Yeah.
And I liked all of them, but when it transitioned and it showed that it was going to be a Homelander scene, I was really there for it. Like anything that he was a part of, was 10 out of 10, man.
Absolutely.
He is so good.
If Frenchie is a get up and popcorn guy, Homelander's like, pause it. I'll be back. I don't want to. I don't want to miss a single minute. No, I think Homelander, for being a bad guy, is truly magnetic and fun to watch.
It's remarkable how much he does not look like that in real life.
I was
looking up pictures. Dude, he looks indistinguishable. No, that means they look the same.
He's quite distinguishable.
He looks incredibly super distinguishable.
Yeah,
it's crazy, man. That is a whole nother subject. How people can just look at somebody and visualize like you're going to be perfect for this.
Yeah,
when he had never looked like that before. Like how do people know that?
He has dark brown hair. Like he's not blonde.
Usually a beard, kind of scruffy. Glasses.
He's from New Zealand. He's got a really kind of chilled way of talking. And he's not actually the suit is like a muscle suit, so he's not actually jacked under that. He's a pretty normal physique guy. He's in great shape, but yeah, man, that casting director has X-ray vision or something, man.
Seriously, man.
Yeah.
Now, one of the more repulsive characters,
the Deep.
The Deep, man.
The Deep.
That guy fucking sucks.
The Deep can get fucked every season, dude. I hate the Deep. I love to hate the Deep. I don't think he's a bad character. I don't think he's played poorly, I should say.
Right.
But yeah, as a person in that universe, I fucking hate the Deep. I kind of liked watching him get his ass kicked in the headquarters or whatever when he and Black Noir break in there and Starlight and everyone kind of give him the business. That was cool. That was fun. Or watching A-Train kind of beat his ass there at the end. Yeah.
The whole thing with the octopus, man, is so weird to me, man.
So odd, dude.
It was giving me the heebie-jeebies, like that one part where he was with his wife in bed and he wanted to introduce the octopus,
and the tentacle slaps on her leg.
She's like, she wants to see what you feel like, and it's just like, she's like, no.
Yeah,
the whole scene was hilarious, and then him her in the closet, and towards the end, she was begging him to let her out and all that. It was just it's very strange.
I am glad. I know, from the jump, right? I think it's actually in episode 1 of season 1. He essentially, assaults sexually Starlight. You know what I mean?
Yes.
Basically tells her hey, if you want to make it here, you gotta S my D. Which is
right after she said, I had your poster on my room as a little girl. I always looked up to you or something, which makes it all the more creepy.
Truly revolting. And at the time I was thinking well, that guy's probably not going to be in the rest of the show, right? I mean, that's revolting. Right. They'll either kill him. Nope. But they have never at any point made the Deep redeemable. They have never given him in 4 seasons, never given him a moment good for the Deep. Nope.
Right.
It is fuck the Deep every day, and you're happy about it, and you love watching him eat dirt. I'm not going to lie, the little tiny sadomasochist in me that loves watching him suffer. Anytime Homelander is mean to him or hurts his feelings or is dismissive of him, I'm like, good. Fuck that guy. He really he sucks.
Dude, his physique though.
He's jacked.
That dude is fucking jacked but ripped at the same time. I don't know, man. I don't know how you get like that. Now, I thought Noir too. That whole thing was really funny. How he didn't know how to act like Noir. He would talk, and they'd be like, "Stop talking. You're not supposed to talk. You're fucking."
I think at one point he's like, "Why don't I can fly? I can't fly as Black Noir." He can actually he has more abilities than Black Noir had, but he can't even use them because he's playing this role of Black Noir, which is fucking hilarious.
He's like, dude, you're doing way. They come out on stage and he's acting like Mac and It's Always Sunny. He comes out and he's like, all this stuff, and the Deep's like, bro, you're doing way too much.
Dial it back.
Because Noir was always very just like a statue. He had no expressions ever.
Yeah.
That part was really hilarious.
The firecracker chick got on my nerves, I think. Definitely I'm not necessarily saying that that's an arc that didn't pay off, but it was almost just like when you get a burger and there's so much good stuff on it that's kind of sliding off. I think she's that one thick cut piece of avocado that's just like, I'm just gonna eat this after. She was really good. I understand what she was meant to represent in this world, right? Like she is one of those just fucking crazy, like QAnon type.
Right.
You know, like if I don't like you, I'm going to accuse you of being a pedophile, and therefore, like your argument is moot type. But yeah, I thought she was great. I just didn't feel like, again, it's something that kind of just like, if that wasn't there, I don't think this season really is like driven by her being there or not being there. So, but all in all, not bad.
No, I agree. Now, Butcher, you'll have to answer this for me. So at the end, in the season finale, he comes out like Doc Ock style, just ripping people apart.
Yeah.
And it's because he took the V. But at the point when he saw A-Train and Huey swap, or, he met up with A-Train to get the V, and he steps out of the shadows.
Right.
And he's like, it's for my dad, and you could take some too to save you. And he's like, I already have. And that entire season, like, he'd already taken the V, and it didn't do anything. And then in the finale, all of a sudden, he's just 100% healed and has tentacles now.
So my thinking on that, and I'm not necessarily defending it because it does kind of present weird, but my imagining of that is he doesn't have control over it, because he has that scene with the holy roller guy or whatever, I forget what his name is, the super Christian superhero, who of course is a piece of shit, and that dude's about to kill him, and then he kind of blacks out and wakes up, and he's torn that dude to pieces. I think it is because in the beginning he either doesn't know he has the power, or he has it but he doesn't have any control over when it manifests, and so it's just kind of like. But by the time he shows up at the very end and kills Newman by ripping her in fucking half, which is not,
that was a shocking death.
Not on my bingo card for sure. Kind of anticlimactic, considering like they like at no point, like, everyone is super terrified of Newman because she can literally look at people and make their head explode.
Right.
They never have to overcome that. Billy just picks her up and rips her in half, and that's feels like anyone.
She's a big character. She's been one of the main. I think at the end of season. No, she was introduced in 2.
Season 2, she shows up. I think by the end of season 2, she is kind of more present, because that's when they're in Congress and like everyone's head starts blowing up. So she's in it by then, but by season 3, Huey's like working for her. Yeah. As like an intern or whatever.
I will say this show never, like, for a show that is incredibly gory, after 4 seasons, they still do not cease to amaze me with some of the, like, even the little things like Ryan, when they were doing that staged save and he pushes that guy too hard.
Oh.
He flies up and splats against the wall. Which was like, holy shit. Or even like when Homelander punched Noir, when he killed Noir, like that was just a punch to the gut, but it went through him.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of
the Deep, when they're kind of cleaning up Vought Tower, and the Deep makes that guy say like, am I your favorite? Yeah, your favorite. Are you just saying that because you're scared? He's, whatever. And then he punches his head like, but through his fucking head.
Caves his head in, yeah. I'm trying to think of my favorite, like, just absolutely gratuitous deaths. The sheep thing is funny. People getting, like, picked up by the flying sheep and they're just, like, torn to pieces. God, we need to talk about the Ant-Man dick thing. This dude who literally, he's like, I forget what his name is. It's something kind of funny, like shrink nuts or whatever, but... This dude is like doing coke at this party, and he goes off with this guy. This is in season 3. I think it's episode 1 of season 3.
Very early,
Yeah. And he's kind of having this like, these two dudes are going at it. The dude shrinks and goes inside the dude's dick tip. And he's been doing coke, so he's like keeps thinking he's gonna sneeze. He's inside this dude's urethra.
Get to the prostate.
Yeah. And as he's going along, he sneezes, goes back to regular side, and rips this dude in half from the inside of his dick, which is...
I saw that. I didn't see it coming, but I was like, this is setting up for that.
Something awful. Yeah.
Dude, that's when I text you and my dad, who's watching it or has watched it, and I'm like, I've never seen that before. I've never seen that before.
Yeah. You may
One of
never
my favorite. It was a really quick one, but it's when Homelander is with Ryan and they're kind of in that crowd of people, and
Yeah.
that guy throws something and it hits Ryan.
Yeah. And he just
And then
like,
Homelander, he kind of zooms in on his face, and he's getting that real angry look, and it's just like a
yeah.
quick zap, and it just off
Yeah.
with his head.
Yep. That's a good one. I think my favorite like kind of mini moment with Homelander is it's towards the beginning of season 2. Ashley brings him this blind superhero who uses like sound to navigate, and Homelander's just has nothing but contempt for something like that and sees it as a gimmick. So he slaps the dude in the ear, causing him to go deaf, and the dude is just like yelping and like flopping like a fish and
On the ground, ears bleeding.
Yeah, and Homelander's like, what is this? Like, he's just like annoyed, and it's so, you get a glimpse of how just like disconnected from his humanity he is at that point.
Yeah.
So
There was a part in season 4 where Sage, after he kicks her out, and she walks into his apartment or whatever, and he's kind of sitting on the couch. Looks like he's been crying. He thinks that everything's over, and she reveals, no, this was all part of my plan. You know, a few hiccups in the road because you made a few decisions, but on the other, I had this phone call, and it's for you.
yeah,
And he kind of looks, and he's like, well, who is it? Seeing him with like some like human emotion is really funny. Just like, who is it?
yeah,
That was funny.
he's good, man. Well, that takes us up to. Oh, you got something?
Oh no, I just had. I'm gonna run these real quick. Starlight powers, they fucking suck.
Starlight's powers
suck.
seem really like ineffectual. She does have like super strength and seems like she could take a bullet, which is cool. But other than
There's
that,
so many times where like a threat pops up and her eyes start to glow, and then she's just like knocked across the room.
does
like,
nothing.
Just totally
Yeah.
ineffective.
Yeah, lame power.
You don't see Homelander in action that much until like season 3. Like you see him a lot,
Yeah.
but you don't see him fight for a really long time. And I didn't notice that until I actually saw him fight.
Yeah, that's true. I didn't think of that.
Transformation from 3 to 4, staggering.
Pretty stark.
Staggering.
Stark. Lost a lot
and
of
I
weight.
remember you said it's because I remember that conversation we had. He looked back at 3, but I watched 3 for so long that was normal. And then when I saw him in 4, I didn't even recognize him for like half an episode.
Yeah.
He's totally different.
Looks very different. Very different.
Homelander in street clothes. That was interesting.
That was weird. Yeah, he's wearing like the ball cap. He's doing like a Captain America thing.
The human centipede in the sauna.
That's
that was,
yep. Lot. Hey
that was
man.
a thing.
Lot of butt stuff. A lot of buttholes.
Everything else we pretty much talked about. The only thing, and I'll end with this, I did not like how at the end of season 3, Butcher turned on Soldier Boy. And I get why. It was for Ryan.
Yeah.
And I know they're not going to kill Homelander, actually, but that whole thing was leading up to Butcher and Soldier Boy killing Homelander. And for as like hard and unwavering as Butcher is, for last minute to flip it, like I wanted to see Homelander die. I knew he wasn't going to, but that was such an annoying letdown flip to me at that moment. That's not what I wanted.
I think it's like you said, we knew it wasn't going to happen. I think the reason it happens is because when Billy kills Homelander, he wants it to be cleaner and more just than it would have been if Soldier Boy had killed him. And I think that's why ultimately he didn't let Soldier Boy kill Homelander, even though he...
And like destroying all of Vought Tower and
killing
thousands of people and all that.
Right. Yeah.
That makes sense.
I think it makes sense in the scope of like Billy like having such a vengeful heart against Homelander that he wants when it happens I think his preference is he does it, but if anything
looks him in the eye and it's one-on-one and it's
yeah, exactly.
Well, I loved it, man. I'm glad you got me back on that train.
Absolutely. We need to do
all that to you.
We need to do that with something else soon. It'll be fun. Hey, I don't think we got time for write-ins today, but yeah, we hope you enjoyed this spoiler-rich, kind of zoomed out review of The Boys. It's a great show, man. It's deserving of every bit of praise that it's gotten up to now. It's
100%.
It's hella good, and it's definitely not for the faint of heart, but it's quite enjoyable. Quite enjoyable. Oh my god. Enjoyable. I enjoyed it a lot. Hey, this week, later this week, Cody and I'm coming down to Dallas. Summer Slaughter Fest is happening in Dallas, and we're going to be there. A few of our friends are in town playing in some of those bands, so we are setting up a special interview for that episode. We're really excited for. So I hope you will tune in next week and see what we got up to. Hopefully we are able to record at a time we've been able to kind of enjoy some of the show, and kind of talk and visit with everyone. But all in all, I think it's going to be a really fun day. I know I'm looking forward to it big time.
Hell yeah. Tune in next week for that.
Tune in next week. Hey, keep those write-ins coming. We'll hit a big batch of them probably in the weeks to come. We may even do a couple while we're there at the show with our guests. But yeah, link to the Discord in the description for this. Go to the channel called Questions for Podcasts. Leave us a question. Leave us a statement.
Q's for P, baby.
Give us one of your very bizarre and very outworldish, hypotheticals like Cody's. You have to weed eat every day for the rest of your life for $50K a day. That's perfectly fine, but you might get red.
You might get red. You never know.
You never know.
You also might not.
You might not.
But you might.
You might not. One of these days, if we get too backed up, we'll do a big mail call day and we'll just do questions the whole podcast. That'll be fun.
Yeah. Gotta save them up. One of those weeks we ran out, so
that's
can't
true.
Have that happen again.
That's true. Y'all need to give us more. Baja blessings on all of your tiny little heads. We love you very much, and we will see you on the flippy.